Okay, we're going to look at how to write out some scales and chords for the Year 12 exam. So I'm just going to get up a couple of things that we looked at earlier in the year. So we haven't touched on a lot of these things. As I said, there's not that many marks for chords and scales, but it is important to grab these marks because they are there. There will be a few marks available. So I'm looking for my list, and this is it here. So how do we use this information that was given to you earlier in the year? Now, some of you did well with this sort of interval pattern for the modes and the interval pattern for the chords. I personally prefer key signatures. I think it's a more musical way to understand chords and scales, but I wouldn't make you learn it that way, but I'll go through both today. Okay, so let's do it twice, each of these questions. So we're going to do it both ways. So the first question, so we only need to know chords and scales up to 2 flats and sharps. So we don't need to know really tricky ones, the ones down the bottom. So I'm going to write down some scales first. So we're going to do a D major scale because that's got 2 sharps, a C mixolydian because that's less than 2 sharps or flats, a G major pentatonic, let's do a C Dorian, let's do we'll change that, let's do a D minor Aeolian. So please don't write D minor for a scale. D minor is a chord. D minor is not enough information to tell me what scale. You need to say D Aeolian, or you need to say D natural minor, or D Dorian, that's another minor scale, D Phrygian. You can't just write D minor for a scale. Let's do Phrygian, let's do A Phrygian. And let's do E minor pentatonic. And there's another one, so we'll do the same one. We're going to do an E blues scale, just to show you those as well. All right, so now we're going to use the key signature method that I have on the right-hand side of the screen now. And then we're going to do the interval method. Okay, so let's have a look at the circle of fifths. So hopefully throughout the year and your time looking at music, we have learnt the circle of fifths. This is a good one. Let's focus on this one for now. Let's see if we can anyway. All right, so that's a good one to look at. All right. So D is on the sharp side and it's 2 notches to the right, which means there's 2 sharps. So all I would have to do for this is start like this by going D to D. D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D. So that is the musical alphabet. So let me go back a step and say that is the musical alphabet. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A. So to write the musical alphabet from D, we would just do the same pattern, but we'd go D to D rather than A to A. From there, we see that the circle of fifths tells us that there's 2 sharps to the right, and that is D. And if you know your order of sharps, which is Father Christmas Gave Dad and Electric Blanket, so the first 2 is Father Christmas, so we need to put a sharp on F and a sharp on C, and that's it. The other way to do it would be to follow that pattern, 2, 2, 1, 2, 2, 2, 1, and that would be like 2, so it's 2, We go up from D, go up 2 more, up 1, up 2, up 2, up 2, and up 1. And we don't have the same answer, obviously, because that's the right answer. Mixolydian, we can do the same thing starting from C. And what does it say here? Add a major key signature and lower the flat 7, lower the 7. So the major key signature for C is nothing at all. 0 sharps, 0 flats. So that's a major scale. And then we go to the 7th, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and add a flat. Otherwise, we can do our 2, 2, 1, 2, 2, 1, 2. And on the piano, that would be up 2, up 1, up 2, up 1, up 2. And we get the same answer. G major pentatonic, major key signature. So we start with all our notes, same as before, except we're starting from G. Adding our major key signature, which is 1 sharp. So now we have a G major scale. And what's the instruction? Delete the 4th and 7th note. 1, 2, 3, 4. And the 7th note is that one. And that's what you get. Or you follow the interval pattern and you end up like that. C, Dorian. I'm just going to steal this one just to make it easier and then get rid of the flat because we are starting fresh. C to C. Adding a minor key signature. So this is where we have to use more than 2 flats because C minor has 3 flats. 1, 2, 3. And they are blanket, exploded, and. Blanket, exploded, and. So now it's a natural minor Aeolian because we've added a minor key signature. But to make it a Dorian, we need to raise the 6th note. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There we go. Or we follow the interval pattern, which is down here. 2, 1, 2, 2, 2, 1, 2. Natural minor, starting from D. D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D. From here, we add a minor key signature. D minor is 1 to the left. So we add a flat. What's the instruction? Raise, sorry, that's it. That's the only instruction. Sorry, I thought we were talking about Dorian, but we've already done Dorian. Add a minor key signature, and we did so. Otherwise, you follow that. So the only reason, well, one of the main reasons I'm not into the flat, this system, is because I've seen it too many times. People just learn the interval pattern and they end up with an answer like that. Because they don't do that first step. That will be wrong. If you write that on the exam, they're going to go wrong. Because it's a flat 6. That's a raised 5th. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. A is the 5th. A sharp is the raised 5th. D in relation to B is a 6th, and it's flat in this case. It's not a raised 5th. It's a flat 6. And you only know that, or you only get that right every time when you use key signatures. Okay, second last one. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A. Add a minor key signature, no sharps or flats, and we lower the first note, or the second. The first note besides the tonic. And we end up with that. Minor pentatonic, so we start with an E. And then we add our minor, E minor, which is 1 sharp. Then we get rid of the 2nd and the 6th. That should say 6 there. So I might edit that now in case people are using it. Don't know what happened there. So we get rid of the 2nd, which gets rid of the sharp, and we get rid of the 6, which gets rid of that one. So the instructions for a E blues or a blues is to do exactly what you just did. So we'll take that. And then add the diminished fifth. So the fifth is actually B in this case, because we go E, F, G, A, B. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. E, F, G, A, B. So that's the perfect fifth. So if we add the diminished fifth, we end up with the B flat. So if you are able to do these things by learning the interval pattern, congratulations. I find it's better to do it with the key signature. I suggest, if you want to get better at this, choose a tonic and say, for example, G, and then do all those again from G. And then if you want to do more, choose another one. Choose D, choose C. That would be a good way to memorize those things. But as I said, there's probably only going to be 4 or 5 marks for chords and scales. So you might be better off spending time on your listening.